Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? We're going to be all right. We are. We're going to be okay. All right? Remember, it's still flying. We are going to be okay. All right? I have my little flag. Here. All right. And I'm more of a radio person, so I'm going to go back to my reading. All right, let's do this. Hang in there. We're going to be okay. We are going to be okay. We are. All right, switch this around. It was very brave of me. Thank you, Larry girl. Oh, trust me. I was very nervous, but it's worth it because there's people who are scared, and that's I can't. Thank you, Wendy. I can't stand people being scared. Not on my not when I'm here, because we're going to be okay. We have truth on our side. We have right on our side. And it's going to be all right. I'm going to put that right there. I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm going to put that right there. There we go. All right. Thank you, Ian. Oh, thank you for being here. All right. Yeah, there is more bombshell news. I'm just going to go with a classic. Oh, goodness, what a mess. What a mess, what a mess. That would be kitties. They went out this morning. You look exactly as I hoped. Well, thank you. Excellent. I'm glad. I hope it helped. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But anyway, I hope that helped, because I just want you guys to know we're going to be okay. We are. Oh, 1:31, and today is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. All right, I'm just going to use a regular old faithful Rider Waite. Although I am being drawn to the Halloween deck a little bit because, well, you know, might be nerves. Yeah, let's do the Halloween deck. Because, and you know the main reason why? I should try putting the light in a different place now, seeing if that would help, but maybe not. If I put it down here, does that help? Nope. Nope. The tower. Got the tower right there. So this is going to hurt. Well, thank you. You're very kind. Uh, thank you, Kathy W. All right, so let's read on. Well, first of all, let's talk about that let's talk about the elephant in the room, the big corrupt elephant in the room. McConnell, first of all, we need a hashtag cancel Bolton's pre-order. That needs to happen because instead of demanding to talk in front of the Senate, instead of going and saying, I need to say this, even if you had to go to the Republican or the Democrats to do it, he was at a private talk last night making money. And he said a couple of things to just the tiny audience there who had paid to see him. I'm sorry. Profiles in courage, that's profiles in greed. That is profiles in you are a pile of slime in a suit. Even if you do have a mustache I call Duke. So, yeah. So, cancel culture, yeah, cancel Bolton. He had his one chance to be a hero, to stand up, to be special. And he just, 30 pieces of silver are still 30 pieces of silver, no matter how you earned it. Jules Daramore, absolutely. I am with you. All about the Benjamins. Yep, GM Dave. Okay, so Bolton, ugh, and then McConnell's now fighting. There's some talk. I'm trying to see, I'm telling you what I know, so that maybe you know more than I do, which is very likely, that so we can figure out what to read on, what's going to do the most good here. Because before I got on, there was talk that there could be that the vote could be put off. McConnell doesn't want it to be put off, but there may be some senators saying there's no way we are going to sit through a State of the Union with Trump, who feels vindicated, and him up there just being himself. A woman sitting near Bolton on a plane slipped him a note begging him to say something for the sake of the country. Clotho, God bless her. Profiling greed and cowardice. And Cepolo, the lawyer who's been fighting, who's been standing up for Trump on the Senate floor, was in on the deal. He was standing in the room when Trump told Bolton to call Zelensky and tell him to work with Giuliani. And he is still impeached. Scipione. I don't know how to pronounce his. I'm so sorry. I don't know. So we are going to be okay. Let's just make that really clear. Still waving. Flag still waving. We're okay. We're okay. But that doesn't mean I have to say anything nice about these guys, because I'm not going to. So, okay. And this also explains why I saw that money flowing toward Bolton, and then so much of it, not all of it, but so much of it flowing away. So that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so what shall we read on? What would do the most good here? Is it the vote? Is it if they have witnesses, will they still acquit Dumpy? I've got it, and I'm reading your comments, and I'm going to go with the one that my gut is like, yes. So I'm I don't feel slighted if I don't choose yours right off the top. Oh, Texicon, yeah, I understand you're screaming internally. We all are, but we'll be okay. But these guys, they're infuriating. Murkowski still hasn't voted. Well, maybe we should look at the vote. Pence aide that resigned. Coronavirus affect the vote. My spread last night just told me to watch and wait. Tequiva? Yeah. Today's outcome. All right, let's read on today's outcome. How are people who can't see tarot readings feeling? Livid. Livid. It's affecting, I can feel, it's even affecting, like, if people can go to work. Having to take, like, personal, mental health days for those who can afford, who have the jobs that they can afford to do that. And everybody else is just having to grind through it. It's bad. It's bad. They knew. Commentator on MSNBC just called out some of these senators saying they want this to go away because they knew. Yep. All right, so, all right, how about, yeah, okay, for what's going to happen today. How about I just do a reading? It's just a big knotted ball of energy. So I'm just going to do a read. I'm going to start with just a reading on today. Today, is it the Senate impeachment trial, or it's news about to come out, or I just want to see what pops. Hello. Let's just see. I'll just do a reading on today. See what pops, and we'll start there. Okay. I'm going to put that there. Put this here. I'm just going to put January 31st in. Today in impeachment history. No, what's gonna happen here? Let's see here. What's going to happen today? It's chaos. The energy is. I feel like I'm just standing there and I've got kind of a protective bubble around me, but it's like standing in the middle of a tornado where beyond that bubble, you can't see anything. It's just gray chaos. And it's like, whoa, that could hurt somebody. Oh, that just flew past. Oh, that's gonna hurt when it lands. Kind of like in years ago, that movie, Twister. It's like a cow. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And it's very gray energy because it's not high vibration, let me tell you. But it's not all black either. I mean, if I just read on McConnell right now in the Republican caucus, that energy's nasty. Bunch of self-serving. Yeah, I mean, all politicians are self-serving, but yeah, there are degrees. So today, it's all about the emperor. It's all about Trumpy. It's all about Trumpy. In the past, Page of Pumpkins, they just went about their business. This is Republicans just going about their business. It's they're not kings. They might think they're kings and queens, but mostly kings. But no, just going along, just doing their thing. Taking meetings with. Constituents and, worried about little local issues. And I'm not saying local issues are not important. I'm just saying compared to an impeachment of the President of the United States, a lot of other stuff, it looks quite small by comparison. The center of the reading, decisions. Whew, talk about the cards being on point. Center of the reading is the card of decisions. Two of Swords. Base of the reading. Smug Trump. It's just, normally I get ghosts or cups, and normally I get cups for Democrats, but these two cards together with the star, it just feels like the base of this is a very smug Trump. Do you want to give this guy even more opportunity to go forward? Above the reading, yeah, the devil, the Queen of Cups. So the Democrats still trying to fight this corruption. Schumer, Schiff, definitely Schiff, still willing to speak out, still willing to stand up there, still willing to. This morning, is it Schumer who gave the? He made comments this morning at a podium, and the I didn't get to see it, but I saw as he was leaving, the pundits were saying that he had pulled his punches, which it makes sense because he's trying to give some of those Republicans some breathing room. So, near future, 10 of bats. That's a 10 of swords, usually the guy on the ground with all the swords in his back. And the 6 of wands, which in this deck is this is the Republican Party, current Republican Party going down with Trump. You own it. It's kind of the you broke it, you bought it. This is more the you're okay with it, you bought it. Not endorse it. I forget the word. Sorry, go into an alpha state and details. Condone it. That's the word I'm looking for. You condone it, you bought it. Cipollone, Schiff is hot, reading the article and called out on Cipollone. Yeah, okay, home environment. Counting the votes. And they think, McConnell thinks he has the votes, but he's willing to give a little on timing and yeah. Hopes and fears. This is 10 of wands. It's a burden. This is usually the 10 of wands where the guy's carrying the great big burden of all of those. Yeah, it's a burden. Hopes and fears that this is going to be an albatross around the Republican's neck. What's happening? All right, just ignore that. Murkowski has announced how she will vote. Well, which way is she going to vote? She said no. Okay, what we see is the bravery of like Pelosi. These guys are toast. They're toast, I'm telling you. It will be an albatross. Yeah, Moscow Mitch, home environment. He's willing to give a little bit. But I don't think they actually voted yet. Yep, okay. Final, all right, so the near future is you condone it, you bought it. And then the final outcome is the Sun, the Hanged Man, and the 5 of Wands. So this is the equivalent. We're very anti-violence around here, but this is the equivalent of a hanging at dawn, and just chaos. And they're not even able to fight together, and they're having to fight each other. It feels like the Republicans in trouble. But I've got the Emperor, and right underneath it, I've got the Fool. Huh, surprise. So, all right, well, let's read on the vote then. Let's read on the vote, and let's see here. crazy is they gave Collins enough wiggle room that she was able to come out and say that she was 4 witnesses in theory. So it really was down to Murkowski, I guess. Okay. But my favorite card in the deck, even if it looks dark, it's going to be okay because we are good people. We are a country of good people. This too shall pass. I mean, we had a revolution. We had a revolutionary war. We had a civil war. I mean, imagine trying to read that energy. But anyway, I know you guys are still talking about that. But yeah, imagine having to do the tarot readings on the Civil War while that was going on. All right, so let's read on the vote. Let me make a note of this. The vote. The vote, the vote, the vote. People say this is the worst. I'm like, hello, Civil War. Exactly. Oh, vegan cupcakes. GM Dave, you're mean. You're mean. You're cruel. I'm vegan and I love cupcakes. I love sugar. Actually, do you know how I saw my mom this morning and she gave me my mom gave me a piece of apple pie this morning. And I was like, you realize this doesn't get much more Americana. And here we've got the flag here. And she's like, well, yes, but we're not going to go see baseball. It's like, that's true. That's true. All right, the vote, the vote, the vote. Wow. McConnell is gloating. He's trying not to he's trying not to getting 2 for what we see. He's trying to make sure he's got those votes, but he is just gloating. He loves this. I can do, because it isn't just now that Trump can do anything. McConnell can do anything. He can do anything. He blocked Merrick Garland. He got completely unqualified people, hundreds of unqualified people onto federal, judgeships for life, young people. And now he even managed to save the president from being removed. They weren't taught to be gracious in victory. Texarkana, you are right there. All right, so the vote, Ace of Ghosts, it's overflowing emotion. Ace of Cups. In this deck, Ghosts are cups. It's just overflowing emotion right now. And tears. There are a lot of people crying right now, and I'm so sorry. And please don't cry. Please. It breaks my heart when you cry. We're going to get through this. We're going to be okay. We are going to be okay. These are rotten people, but they're just some people. They happen to be temporarily in a position of power, and they are slime in suits. But we're going to get through this. In the past, oh look, Trump doing whatever he wants. It's actually, that card feels slimy, like energetically. It's like, oh great, Trump grossing up my cards again. And I know that's not a verb, but it works during the Trump era. 8 of Ghosts. 8 of Cups is the card I kept getting for witnesses. And notice it's the center of the reading. And you're seeing the potential for a whole lot of unhappy Democrats. Because I get Ghosts as cups and cups for Democrats. So, overflowing emotion, the Fool, disappointed witnesses, disappointment about witnesses. All right, base of the reading. I've got Republicans sticking together, and going back to, just wanting to put their heads down and go back to their mundane jobs and suck up to their constituents to make sure that they get reelected. Wow. Okay, these cards. And I get comments sometimes. It's like, well, if you didn't have such long nails, it'd be easy to pick up those cards. It's like, no, because if you watch long, I've had a day, at least one day, where I didn't have nails at all. Still had trouble. Still. All right, above the reading, swords, investigations, all the swords that are already in Trump's back. It's hanging over. Man. Near future. Disappointment. Trump stirring the pot, surprise, trying to pit people against each other, serious heartbreak and disappointment, home environment, infighting. They're not all happy about this. They're going along with it, but they're not necessarily happy about it. Okay. Hopes and fears. King of Ghosts, the rise of the power of the Democrats. And this feels like Schumer and Schiff and Pelosi and the leaders, yeah. All right, I got 2 cards for what we see. Wow. 4 of Swords, Hierophant, which is the establishment. And this is like a tomb. Actually, it is a tomb. Usually this is a statue on top of a grave. And quite often this just means quiet. But this isn't the death card. It isn't the death card with the government. It's it's not quite death, because we're going to be okay. But this is such a blow to democracy. But we're not done. We're not done. We are not done. This is what we see. This isn't the final outcome. Okay? Final outcome. Come on, work with me here. This is going to be a burden. And then we have the Queen of Wands, which is Pelosi and Judgment. So this is going to blow back on the Republicans. Okay, that's to see witnesses. Let's look at the final vote. And we're going to look at the final vote. Will they vote to acquit? Acquit. All right. Will they vote to acquit Trump? See, here's the thing. They've done studies, and what they discovered is this idea of fairness. Fairness isn't just a concept, and it isn't something we learn. Even the smallest babies have an idea of fairness. As soon as they're not like tiny newborns, but all they care about is, am I warm, am I fed, am I safe? But as soon as they are aware of much of anything, very, 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 very young, they understand the concept of fairness. So just like Trump taps into the base of the brain, those deep-seated needs, hierarchy of needs, he's going for the back of the brain stuff. Fairness is also back there. All right, so are they going to vote to acquit Trump? Okay, I've told this story before. Please bear with me because this is very related to this. There is a line, for those of you who don't know, who are not complete sci-fi geeks like I am. There's a movie, I want to say it's Chronicles of Riddick. Might be the movie that was actually just called Riddick, but in one of them, he's a bounty hunter named Tooms, Tooms, captures Riddick and takes him to this really nasty planet where there's this really horrible jail cell that they drop the prisoners down into. And Riddick is down in there and he's looking up at, because the top is where the offices are with, and the bounty hunter's gone to the prison warden or the people running the prison and, to get the bounty, but he wants more money. And I will look at censure, don't worry about that. But as they're sitting there, because Riddick is very calm about things, he's looking up and he can't hear what's going on, but he can see it. And as he's like, take the money, Tooms. Take the money. Take the money. And, Tooms obviously keeps fighting and it turns into a huge battle and this whole great big thing. And so that's what I'm getting, which is, don't do it. Don't do it. Fine. You want to say you don't want to hear any more witnesses? Fine. Say you don't want to hear any more witnesses. You want to be a brat. You don't want to sit there. You get tired. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo you. But do not acquit him. Do not acquit him. Because he is going to go so far off the rails. And if you have a brain in your head, you will kick out Trump and put in Pence now, because it's going to get so bad. Don't do it. Take the money, Tooms. You got your vote on no witnesses. You don't have to sit through it anymore. Don't do it. Center of the government. Center of the reading, or the card for the reading is government. Government, establishment. In the past, Ace of Pumpkins. Trump really got the money train going. Lots of money for all kinds of people up and down the Republican ticket for their re-elections. Is the Senate going to secrets right in the middle? Are they going to acquit Trump? Secrets, higher wisdom. McConnell using the whatever arcane rules of the Senate he can, but this is secrets, big, major arcana secrets. Base of the reading. It feels like a lot of Republicans standing around like, okay, you go first. No, you go first. I mean, they're just not. They're not enthusiastic about it. I don't care if you're enthusiastic about it or not. The question is, are you going to do it or not? Oh, come on. Work with me. Above the reading, it's an agreement to go down together. This is the insult to injury card, and this is partnership. The Republicans sticking together. We'll go down together. Near future. The fact that this has taken as long as it has hurt Trump. It has suspended campaigning by Democratic presidential candidates, but it's also hurt Trump. But this is also, have you lit a fire beneath young Democrats. Ho, 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 ho. And with Pluto, which has which Pluto fights Saturn's power, because Saturn is the, sets things up. And that conjunction we just had is all about trying to change the power structure. And you're just, the more, you have to let Pluto's a plow, and you've got to let, and it's going through Capricorn, which is status and that sort of thing. The moneyed, it's all about power and status. You've got to let Pluto go through Capricorn, or you've got to let it kick up all that ugly stuff so you can get rid of it. But if it kicks up all that ugly stuff, finds the ugliest rock it can find, which is Donald Trump, you have to get rid of it. If you keep it, well, now you've got Saturn rules Capricorn, but now you've got Pluto, and wham, they came together. And that's why you see people in the streets. It was coming up to that. You had it happening. You've got Hong Kong. You've got places all over, and it's going to get worse. Their protests are going to get worse and worse. You're gonna light a fire under a whole generation. Home environment, people working together. This is very strong. This is young people especially, but people coming together to fight this. What little, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country, because this is people coming together. It's also my favorite card in this deck, because it's the card of generosity. Anyway, hopes and fears that he's going to get away with it. Just going to get away with it. What other people see? Mr. You're fired doesn't get fired. Doesn't look like it, anyway. Let's see. All right. Because right now I'm looking, are they going to acquit him? Oh, do you think they're under pressure now with the witness question? Imagine working for Susan Collins or Murkowski or whomever for the final vote, whether or not to acquit you. That's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot harder sell. And they know this judgment card feels like it's 4 times its normal size. It's just it feels like it's huge. It's judgment on them if they acquit. Let me see if I've got any more information. Will they acquit President Trump? You have so many other people. What I'm actually the only thing I'm getting from these 4 cards is, at the moment, is you have so many other people who would be better than Trump. And there's so many people in the party, so many people with power in the party still. Why are you taking your chances, continuing to take your chances with this when you know it's going to come around and bite you? Get rid of him. Get rid of him. So that's the energy, but that's what they're fighting. It's bigger than a tornado. If the energy's chaotic now, it's going to be that energy. It's not only it's bigger, but it's also blacker. Please put a prayer in the chat. We're all for that. We're all for positive energy. Republicans standing together, Democrats standing together. Can you see that? Republicans, Democrats voting, promising Republicans things. Seriously, after the way that McConnell has snookered so many of his own people in his own caucus, why would anyone believe him? Oh, that's getting them to go along. This is what came up earlier with, it's not an actual death of the government, but it's a serious abnegation. It's not abdication. Anyway, they're. I'm actually really good with words. I know it doesn't seem like it. Anyway, giving up their not doing what they should. I would say it's abnegation of their responsibilities, something like that. Abdication. Okay, you get the point. But this is Ace of Bats. This is the card of this is the sword of truth. This is investigations starting up. So Americans losing faith in institutions, yeah, I can see that, but it's not. Yeah, very strong. Republicans solid, Democrats solid. About the votes, Republicans getting their people on board, and then this is just not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Abnegation. Thank you. That's the word. Yeah, abnegation of responsibility. But then this is more investigations starting up. So let me just throw a few cards on will they censure. Because it doesn't feel like it, but let's see here. But in the past, I was getting censure and feeling. Do you think this nightmare will ever be over and we'll go back to normal? Good as gold. Yes. And there are good days ahead. But, you know, the thing to keep in mind is that, you know, go back to that great philosopher and poet, Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire. And while this is worse than normal, I would say that, there will be other crises that will come along, and we'll get through those too. Oh, buffering. Okay, cleared up. There are going to be crises in the future, but yeah. There's an expression in England: "A change is as good as a rest." Yeah, they are a wrecking ball in our Constitution. Is that what that said? I'm sorry, I went past pretty quickly. All right, censure. Any chance it'll just be censure and not actual acquittal? They're testing it right now. Testing it with potential voters, focus groups. This is you know, a dinner party at Mar-a-Lago while Democrats are kind of out in the cold. Politicians are being inundated with calls and information. There's the King of Wands and Temperance. They're trying to thread the needle. But the thing is they're being stupid because you can't thread the needle with Trump. You can't. You can't get there from here. The same way that what's his name? Last night, Senator, first guy called in the roll, last name begins with an A. I guess my brain's getting tired because I cannot ever, I'm being terrible with names these days. But where he said, oh, he's guilty. It's just not worth being, Alexander, thank you. He's guilty. It's just not worth impeaching him for. And that's what they're going to try to do. But don't do it, Toombs. Take the money, Toombs. Don't do it. Don't do it. So what we need to, I think what we need to read on next is how off the rails would Trump go? You know, a month ago my notes were nice and tidy, and now they're just kind of a mess. My little notebook. It helps me timestamp if I make it helps a lot if it helps me timestamp these. He won't care about censure. I agree, Lynn. Yeah, he's not gonna care. Are you kidding? Yeah, this is not a Halloween deck question. Sorry, I can tell right now this is. Thank you, Halloween deck, for your service today. Yeah. I'm gonna use sorry, I'm pulling out the ugly guns. I'm pulling out the zombie deck because this deck, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just, I don't know why. It seems to protect me from the energy. And we know what happened last time when I used like the Halloween deck, which I have here, or some of these other decks when I read on Trump. It's like, oh, but for some reason, this zombie tarot deck protects me from some of Trump's energy. I don't know why. I'm just glad for it. So we're using this. How off the... Oh, you do not want to shuffle. You're not working well with others, are you? Sometimes even the way the cards come out or how easy or hard it is to shuffle can tell me things. But how Trump being acquitted, because it's no matter what they do, unless they literally go down there the Republicans go down to the White House en masse and literally drag Trump out of the Oval Office. Well, he's not in the Oval Office. Let's not kid ourselves. Make him put on some pants and drag him out of the residence covered in Cheeto dust and and whatever dust of whatever else has been going on. He's going to say he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, you've just given if they do this, they're giving a malignant narcissist massive power. And so it's just going to be a matter of, for us, out in the country, we just have to say, okay, hold together. Yeah, I know the zombie deck is icky. I'm sorry about that. But it does protect me. I don't know why. I'm just glad for it. Out here in the country, we just have to stick together. It's kind of like, okay, there's I don't know, a big storm coming, or there's whatever it is, but it's like, okay, are you safe? Are you okay? Do you have a blanket? Would you want some soup? John Pelosi's kitsch, not icky. I understand. But, yeah, make sure the kitties are okay. So how off the rails is Trump going to go? Where he can do anything. Or are other people going to step up? Huh, no, I'm not feeling that. The really courageous people have already spoken. They've already stepped up. Everyone else now is trying to CYA. Okay, I've got the Page of Swords and the Moon. Yeah, that's kind of us. It's like, okay, everybody just calm down and just stick together and we'll be okay. That's what I'm getting. Because yeah, it's like being in a home where you have a very angry parent or a very narcissistic parent. But you get through it. We'll get through it together because we're not isolated the way that narcissists manage to do on an individual level. Isolating their victims, the people around them. You know, he can't isolate us. Sorry, can't do it. I'm going to show up here every day at noon. Every day. Central time. And whatever. If he tries to, do something to the internet, or he tries to do, I'm still going to show up. So, in the past, we've already known to batten down the hatches. We already know to, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we have some idea what he's going to do. It's ballpark anyway. It's not like he's going to go from acting like Barack Obama to acting like Donald Trump. Center the reading. Even the Republicans are just, I'm not here. I don't want to think about this. I don't like watching the news. I don't even like watching Fox News anymore. I'm just going to ignore it. Below the reading, the fighting, the arguments are gonna, we got kind of a lull in the pitched fighting online and amongst family members and that sort of thing. We got this lull, which was really nice through Christmas because there was some relief. There was a little bit of a relief valve that was hit when the House voted to impeach Trump, when they had some hearings, when there are people who stood up. And that was a relief valve. But you take that away, it's a lot more fighting, a lot more. Honestly, I'm more worried about. I'm more worried about the alcoholics out there and people who self-medicate whatever their poison is, who are going to take anger and frustration out on children and wives or husbands. That's what I'm more worried about. We just have to check on each other. That's what I'm getting. It's important we check on each other. Are you okay? Are you safe? And these are the Republicans. They are tied. They are chained to Fox News, and they're chained to Trump now. So that's Republicans. This is the Democrats coming after Trump. Near future. The Fool is he's a malignant narcissist. And you've just proven that he cannot be stopped. Nothing will stop him. And he's going to treat everybody even worse. Everybody. I want to pull a couple of cards. Is Melania finally going to leave? Is she going to say, oh, heck no? Because he's going to be, when I was in college, a really good friend of mine, she showed up at a Halloween party and she just had like a big smear, like a swirl of lipstick on the side of her face. And she had, crazy clothes on. And I was like, what are you? And she said, I've come as my id. And it was like, ID. I've come as my id, and it was like, yeah, that's awesome. But it's not so awesome when it's a malignant narcissist who becomes his id in the White House. Nope, she's going to hang around. No, she's going to keep her own child in that environment for money. For money. You're going to keep your child in that environment for money. Home environment. Oh, yeah. The Kushners, the Javanka, the Junior, the Trump family, the people around Trump, Kellyanne, Trump himself, they're going to get even more high and mighty. Hopes and fears that there's going to be, actually no, there's no fear here. There's no fear. This is Trump. He just wants to watch carnage. He just wants to be the emperor who goes to the watch the gladiators and watch people be executed and sit with the crowd, and there's no fear here. He will have no fear. What other people see. You can do what you want. Do what you want. Normally Queen of Cups would be, Democrats or something, but no, this is a Trump family. It's not just him. It's him and the others, because they are a direct reflection of him. It's, yeah, I mean, it's, was it Dvorak? Who was the woman who had baths of milk, and then she wanted to I don't know, bathe in small person blood or whatever it is. Yeah. Oh. But the Democrats are going to come out fighting. And they're going to be smart about it. Democrats coming out fighting. Smartly. Good arguments. Ground game. To try to get anybody who's defending Trump to just, even if they can't get to Trump himself, just the resistance, just their head in a vat. Metaphorically. No violence. But what is, how extreme is Trump's actions going to get? Also, if when they acquit Trump, Pence can kiss his ability, his chance of becoming president goodbye. Goodbye. I had to ask the question, didn't I? How bad can... Oh, Barr as well. Barr's going to be busy hiding things. It's Caligula. It's just Caligula. Yuck. But the seriously, just keep this in mind. Let me go back to Democrats fighting very smartly. Very smartly. This is great. This is very strategic, very powerful. So for all that you see, Ivana there in her gown, kicking people because she's above everybody else with her horribly fake breathy voice. Yeah, it's not going to end well for them. It's not. So please do not despair. Okay, and you're not alone. You are not alone. All right, and I'm going to be here for what it's worth, even if, I don't know. I don't think anything extreme is going to happen. It's going to be more like Caligula. But there will be some really stupid, scary policies. There will. But we'll get through it. We made it through, we went through a revolution to start our country. We made it through a civil war, a really, really nasty, awful civil war. And we're still here. And we'll be okay. It's not going to be that bad. Okay? Oh, all right. So, thank you so much for everything. And thank you for being here. And, yeah, just keep calling your senators. Just keep being the American you want America to be. Okay? And, oh, that's a good point, fudge muffin. Oh, fudge muffin. Trump will confess. Oh, no, let me throw a few cards on that. Will Trump confess? Make a note. Will Trump confess? Hang on, just a couple. Thank you, everyone. And I understand if you have to go, but I just want to throw a few cards on this. So, is Trump going to confess? Caligula. Is Trump going to confess? No, I'm not. Well, if he does, it's going to be at his rallies, and it's going to be, look what I've done to protect you. All right. Well, we're going to be okay. All right, and I'm going to be back here. I'm going to be here every day at noon. I don't know when. I don't know when I'm going to go back to the way I used to do things, where I would record and edit and make more elaborate covers and do all this stuff, because I think this is needed right now. But I will be here tomorrow, and if you can, check in, and if you the things will be time stamped if you want to skip to readings. Just give me a little bit of time after every live stream, and I'll get it. Is it National Hot Chocolate Day? Oh, Marjorie, that's the best news I've had. Well, no, that's the second best news I've had today, because today is my best friend's birthday, and she is wonderful, and we've been besties for, gosh, 6 years, 5-6 years, something, and I only found you 10 days ago. You've been so helpful. Well, she was with me through, serious darkness. And so, maybe I can pay it forward for you guys, because she was so good to me. All right. You guys, I hope, just keep breathing. We're going to get through this. And they are going to pay at the ballot box. They will. They absolutely will. The energy on that is crystal clear. All right, so hang in there. All right, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.